Let's review form, direction, and strength of data. First of all, let's talk about form of data. And the form of data is really kind of the shape that it takes when we plot it on a graph. So you could be looking at, for example, curved data. Curved data would happen when you're plotting your points and your points kind of end up making this curved shape. And usually doesn't mean it's going to be a perfect curve, but those that are a little bit familiar with algebra, you'll see kind of a parabola shape form or a half circle or something like that. But curved form is exactly what it says. It's curved. Linear data. Data where their form is linear happens to be where I'm plotting my points along, and it basically is kind of following a pattern where it's kind of just moving in a kind of a straight line shape. It doesn't have to make a perfect line. It really never does, or very rarely does, but it just creates this kind of line shape. And then we have kind of a third form that we're going to discuss in this textbook, and that's no form. And that's just kind of, hey, I've got my data plotted, and it's just all over the place. It's just no way to know what's going on there. So that's form. Let's move on to direction, direction of the data. When we talk about direction of the data, and we're looking for positive, negative, or no direction. Easiest thing to remember is positive means that my data, my graph is going uphill. So it's this kind of scenario where I'm going uphill. Negative, negative is the opposite. It's downhill. So I'm plotting my data and my data is going downhill. No direction is kind of like no form. It's just I can't even tell what's going on with my data. My data points are all over the place. It's not really going uphill or downhill. I can't tell what direction it's headed. It's just kind of like it's got no form. So we talk about form, talk about direction, and let's then talk about strength. Okay, strength of data. When we talk about strength, we're going to be referring to strength as strong, moderately strong, or weak. All right, if data is considered strong, it means, hey, I've plotted my points, and they may not be a perfect line in here for my data, but this is strong linear data. This looks like a really good line. So strong is good. It looks like a line. Moderately strong would again be, hey, you know what, my data is kind of spread out here, but you know what, in general it's kind of like a line. It's moderately strong. Where weak would be things that are kind of just all over the place. Maybe the data looks like it's kind of going up in general, but it's kind of spread out a lot. It's really hard to tell.